diddly poo offensively. We couldn't make a first down. We couldn't run the ball. We didn't try to run the ball. We couldn't complete a pass. Knock it off! The second half, we couldn't stop the run. Every time they got the ball, they went down and got points. We got our totally kicked. Knock it off!
We've got to be the dumbest team in America in terms of playing the game. And I'm highly critical because of the way we give games away. We give them away, period. And it's embarrassing, and I represent that, and I apologize for that. That's the best we can do. That's a sad problem.
Knock it off! Playoffs? Don't talk about playoffs. Are you kidding me? Playoffs? I just hope we can win a game. Another game. Knock it off!
The Bears are who we thought they were. That's why we took the damn field. Now, if you want to crown them, then crown them.
Knock it off!
But they are who we thought they were. And we let them off the hook.
You play to win the game. Knock it off! Hello?
Hey, who'd you talk to? What's going on? It is me, Mike Lepre, King Mike L. This is Legit Fantasy Football, brought to you by LegitPodcast.com. It is October 16th, 2022, 1016-2022. 3 2s make a 6. And then you got 2 more 1s. I don't know. A bunch of 2s and a 6. I don't know what to tell you. Joining me, as always, for week 6, Brother Ray. What's going on, Brother Ray?
What's going on, King? Ready to punch in that time clock, brother?
You know, it was such a weird feeling because it was like it's week 6, and I wasn't looking through like the R Lads draft guide already. Like, you know what I mean? I wasn't, as a Giants fan, already trying to figure out who we're going to draft next year and how far we could drop in the standings to get the best possible pick. You know what I mean? As a Dolphins fan, like, what's it feel like to be actually like you're watching games that your team is still in the hunt technically? Like, you're not mathematically already removed in week 6. Is it different for you, Ray?
Oh, it's completely different. Yeah, I mean, I'll say this, the Giants, I mean, we'll get into it later. What they're doing without a legitimate wide receiver, Wandale's back today, by the way, has been amazing. So I think they're only going to get better.
Yeah, Leonard Williams returns too. I mean, and Sexy Dexy's doing. Now, here's what's funny. I'm going to bring Matt on in a second, but do you remember me not even week 2 telling you about Dexter Lawrence and how the film that I watched from game week 1, I saw him blowing people up, and I was trying to explain to you guys. Out of everything I saw, I'm like, Dexter Lawrence was killing people. And then every week, there's been more out about him. Rogers makes the comment. Once again, it rolls to what we talk about. Joining me, as far as predictions, Mastradamus M1, Mr. Never Left. What's going on, Matt?
Hot as lava. And all the ones that I'm telling like people that I'm on point. Bullseye. Guys, how you doing today?
Doing
right,
good,
King?
Doing good.
Oh, man.
Doing good. I mean, like I said, you got to lower me in your thing. I can't feedback. I can't believe the New York Giants are still in the goddamn hunt in week 6. It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. And the fact, Matt, you got to lower me because you're making me freak out now. You're going to give me nightmares. I've already dropped my phone, cracked the screen. I've already stumbled, busted my elbow. I don't need feedback. I'm going to go smash my head. Anyway, man, joining us, though, however, as our 4th person to help us make the picks as we go around, is Buddy's cousin, Jimmy.
What's going on, guys? Glad to be here. It's also happy that there's some Giants fans with me. It's rare up here in Rhode Island. It's crazy, man. I mean, I've been debating it all day, actually, with another Giants fan. The play of Daniel Jones, obviously, he had a rough start to the career, but we're seeing what happens when we have a good coaching staff and actually some linemen that can block. Would love a receiver or two, though. Hopefully Wandale plays today.
Oh, yeah. So Wandale is playing, and
Okay,
even in a limited role, Wandale has to do something. Then the surprise pickup, which I told Stu to pick up last night, right? Not to get into your fantasy area, but was Marcus Johnson, I think his last name was, activated off the practice squad. You don't activate a veteran off the practice squad like that if he's not going to come in and play. You know what I mean? It's because he's not a rookie. You keep it on the practice squad. So he plays or he doesn't. So he's going to play minutes. And, yeah, Daniel Jones, I've been saying for the last couple of years, is a legitimate athlete quarterback. He just needs coaching parameters. And like we said, for 10 to 10 years, anyone to block, just somebody to block. And right now, Andrew Thomas is the best left tackle in the game. His feet are so fast, and Evan Neal will learn. He's a man-child. We just got to figure out the middle. All right, we're going to go around the horn with the games. Pick them by the spread. Give you the over-under. Now, on games we've all agreed upon in the past, we're still at an over 70% hit clip. It's absolutely ridiculous. We've done like 5 one week, 4 the other, but it's been really good. So, gentlemen, let us start with the Buccaneers are traveling to the Pittsburgh Steelers. Now, Ray, I'll start with you. The Buccaneers are favored by 9.5 in this game, which is, to me, a high spread. I know the Steelers are what the Steelers are, but still a high spread in Pittsburgh. Over-under is 48.5. Matt, is that you?
Yeah, I can't hear you if I go lower, King.
All right. Okay, I don't mind hearing my voice, Matt. I like hearing my voice. So, Ray, Bucks minus 9.5, over-under 48. What do you got?
So right now, Vegas loves Pittsburgh in this game. A lot of money on Pittsburgh right now getting the points. And I tend to agree with them. I'm going to take the 9.5 in this with Pittsburgh at home. I think the rookie's going to be a little bit better. And I think they'll cover. They're not going to win the game, I don't think. But I like them with the points today.
Before I go to Matt, I'm going to stick my 2 cents in. I agree. And the reason I agree is I can see the Buccaneers winning this game. But 9.5 is asking them to do, more than a touchdown. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, yeah, they win by a touchdown down, but I think the Steelers keep it somewhat close, maybe 4 to 6 points at home. Matty, what do you think?
It's tough. I've been torn on this one. I feel like I see the whole field pretty clearly today, but this one is a tough one because the simple fact that we know Pittsburgh with 9 points is a good amount of points, but is this really Pittsburgh? Najee Harris hasn't looked good. They got a rookie QB at the helm. Tom Brady's going to be able to score. He's got a lot of his tools back. Hasn't looked good all year long, but I'm going to go against both of these, and I'm going to go with Tampa Bay. The spread started at 6. My opposite, you know how I usually roll. I usually go against the grain, and I run the opposite way where the money is. Going against what I usually do, and I'm going to go with Tampa Bay as the heavy favorite.
What about the over on the guys? Quick, 48. A 9.5 spread is tough to have with the 48 over under. So I'm going to go under.
Yeah, I like under. Yes.
Matt,
I'm going to say it's going to be.
Don't start adding
Like-
stuff. Just tell me over on.
No, I just feel like Tampa Bay's ready to stop pouring on points. So if you get like 34, 38, 17, something like that, now you got an over. 55 points being scored. I think it's an over.
Jimmy, who do you like? Bucks minus 9.5 over on the 48.
Agreed. I got the over. I think the Bucks are going to tear them up. Steelers have a bunch of secondary injuries. They're missing 3 cornerbacks and missing their best player on both sides of the ball, Mika Fitzpatrick. I think the Bucks have a coming out party today, personally.
So Tom Brady still is, though, however, on the injury report for 2 injuries. I don't know if you guys have checked that. One is a broken heart. The second is the lizard face has not fully healed from when he had it ciphered and replaced. So he doesn't want to get hit because of the face. There's so much invested in the face. And again, I mean, guys, let's all take a minute. I mean, this guy never cheated. They've never gotten, fine draft picks ever. This guy broke his. All right. Go on. The Bengals go to the Saints. I never liked Tom, and I never will. The Cincinnati Bengals go to New Orleans, Matt. The Bengals, we don't know what we got yet this year. The Bengals are favored by 3. Over under is 43. Who do you like?
This one scares the shit out of me, King.
Yep.
Right? It started as a pick 'em, and you got all the wide receivers out for the Saints. Olave, Landry, Mike Thomas. Why isn't it 4.5? Why? Vegas is telling you, come on, let's do this. Put the money on the Bengals, and you're gonna get red faced. That's what it's saying. I feel like the Saints beat the Bengals, and there's going to be a lot of money on the Bengals this week, and the cop is going to get pulled from out from underneath them. What's the over-under?
43.
That's because it's going to be an under. It's going to be a low scoring. Yep.
Saints in the under. Raymond.
Jameis Winston active today, but not starting. Just bizarre things coming out of New Orleans right now. I like New Orleans with the 3 at home. Again, I think this is a trap. I'm going to go New Orleans, but I'm going to go with the over on this.
So you're both taking New Orleans, and Matt wants under. You want over. Buddy's cousin Jimmy.
I know what you're saying, Matt, about the trap game here. It definitely looks like a game that Vegas is going to take money on, but I got to go Bengals. I think we're overthinking it. I'm going Bengals.
Could be.
And the under, and maybe a grinded out one.
Okay. So in looking at this game, the Bengals favored by 3 going to play the Saints. There's no way that anyone can't tell me that the Bengals do not have a better team than the Saints by 3 points. So I think, they're trying to give us a feeling like there might be actually a game here where I don't think there is a game. So I like the Bengals in a runaway on this one, but I'm still gonna stay under. I don't see much from the Saints. So
Higgins may play today as well, King. Higgins.
I know.
It doesn't look likely though, brother Ray.
They were leaning on the side of he might be active, so we'll see. It's probably going to be a game time decision.
And the Saints might be better off without Jameis, in my opinion. Just saying.
Still. Just by if I got to look at 2 teams with this one, and it's just one team is just better than the other one, I'm sticking with that theory. Is not proving me wrong in a lot of games. So let's start with Jimmy. I'll start with you with this one. The Jaguars, or the Jaguars, the Jaguars. However people want to pronounce them, I say the Jaguars. That's correct English, I believe. They're traveling to another team that never cheats. The Indianapolis Colts. Colts favored by 1.5 at home against the Jaguars. Now, I guess Buddy's cousin Jimmy, my question to you would be is, which Colts team do we get this week?
I have no idea.
Or the bad one?
Yeah, no clue, man. No clue. They are very unpredictable. A lot of injuries for the Colts. Pay, Shaq Leonard, Jonathan Taylor, Hines. So I'm going to go Jaguars, but obviously I'm not feeling confident about it at all. Under is, I have it at 41. It could have changed.
41.
I guess the under. I don't know. This is going to be an ugly game, man.
All right. So repeat that again. You like the under and who?
I like the under in the Jaguars based on the Colts injuries.
All right. Jimmy and Anya. Maddie.
You know how much I love the Jaguars.
Yes, I do.
This is another one where I've been seeing all week where it's inviting to have people put money on the Jaguars. People are reminiscent of the 24-0 shellac and they put on the Colts just a couple weeks ago.
Are they really reminiscent? Is that the right word? You think people are actually reminiscing, right?
They're talking about it around the kitchen table, King. I can hear them.
Well, I'll believe that. Okay.
They're like, don't you remember? This is an easy one. It's not. It's a completely different day. Give me the Colts. And what's the over-under, King?
41. 41.
Probably going to be an under. Give me the Colts in the under. Raymond.
Yeah, this is a tough one. I mean, the Jags have dominated this series lately, and shut out 24-0, and the Colts then come back 1.5 points favorite. I mean, they did beat Kansas City at home. They are a better team at home. I'm going to take Indy because they're at home, given the 1.5, and I'm going to go with the over on this.
Okay, I am going to say this: the Colts did beat the Chiefs, but so did the Ravens. And I don't think the Ravens are that good. I think they got shellacked 2 games prior to that game. And I just don't think the Colts are that good. How about that? I think the Jaguars are a much better team. And I think this is a little bit of a hocus pocus. I'm going to take the Jaguars plus the 1.5 and the over. I just don't like the Colts. When you can't stand your quarterback, when you think your quarterback looks like the most generic white person avatar ever created for any sports game, that's who Matt Ryan is. If you just start any sports avatar for any video game, you get Matt Ryan as a base start, and then you get to change the skin color and eye color, whatever. He's very blasé. I guess is what I'm saying. Ray, the Patriots, the local team, the homegrown team, New England, travel to Cleveland. Cleveland's favored by 2.5. Over under is 43. Jacoby Myers, I believe, is expected to play. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, this will be an interesting one. Revenge factor here with Jacoby Brissett. I'm sure he's going to want to come out here and show Bill Belichick, what he can do. You like Chubb, but I mean, Bill's really good at shutting down the other team's best weapon. And Zapp looked great last week. And the fact that Myers is playing, having said that, I'm probably going to go with Cleveland, given the 2.5.
All right. You want over under of 43?
Definitely the under.
All right. Maddie.
Yeah, I'm going to follow what Brother Ray just said. I just don't think Mac Jones is ready. I think Bailey Zappi is overhyped. He's done a decent job, but he's done what he's told. Basically looking at it like throw it here, do this, take what the defense gives you. Playbook. Completely different from what they were doing with Mac Jones. Mac Jones isn't ready. Cleveland is not a team that you're just going to show up and beat. And I'm hearing all over the radio that Patriots is still that team that can beat bad teams. I don't believe that. And just because they beat up on the Lions, I still just don't believe that. Lions have an awful, awful defense. The Cleveland Browns will win today, and I like the under.
All right. Cousin Jimmy.
Agreed. Going Browns, going under. I think it's a Nick Chubb day. Historically, he has absolutely dominated the Patriots. To your point about Zappi, I just will never trust a quarterback that never took the ball under center in college. He was a shotgun passer in college. I don't trust that ever.
Oh, my God. Hey, by the way, what is it run in the Giants fans' blood? All I ever say is I can't stand quarterbacks from college that don't take it the snap from on the center.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's a whole part of the game they never do, and then you just expect them to learn that shit. It's just,
Ohio State quarterbacks. I'm a Michigan fan, man. Get those Ohio State quarterbacks away from me. They're all garbage.
Yeah, all right. I'm gonna go with here. Here's the thing: the Patriots are starting to scare me because I actually think they're starting to look better. Right? I think they get a decent defense. I think with Jacoby Myers back, they get some weapons. I think the running game is actually pretty good. I think if Bill can stay healthy, Bill's actually doing a better coaching job than we think he is. And I think it'll pay dividends by the end of the season. I really do think that the Patriots are doing better than we think. They're just not splashy. With that said,
they got a good defense.
With that said, I'm still taking Cleveland at home -2, and I'm going to go over on 43.5. And for the record, Deshaun Watson was at practice or in the facilities like last Thursday, and has already caught 3 more cases in the tug rub gate. It's unbelievable. He was only there from Thursday, and he caught 3 more cases. Allegedly. This is all alleged. I don't know. It's allegedly. All right, we're all going with the Browns. Brother Ray, I go back. Jets to the Packers. Jets. Jets. I'm very happy about the Jets being a good team because now I get to have the conversation again with Stu and others about which New York team is better. because that conversation is great to have. It always ends up being the Giants. Like, it just doesn't matter. The conversation always ends up being, well, the Giants are better than the Jets. The Jets are like our JV team. Anyways, Packers are favored by 7.5, Ray. Who do you like?
Yeah, I think Green Bay is going to bounce back after what happened last week, but that's 7.5. I think you have to go with the Jets. That half a point means so much.
Yeah.
I know Green Bay's home, but the Jets are playing well. And I know I wasn't on the show last week, but I was scared of the Jets last week. I knew what they had. So I like the Jets getting 7.5. Breece Hall is quietly one of the best rookies in the game, and it is dominant, catching the ball, running the ball. Give me the Jets plus the 7.5. I'm going to go with the under, though.
Brother Ray, I watched the Packers play the Giants and get shut out completely in the second half, right? I picked the Jets last week to upset, went outright, right? They've been one of the teams that I've enjoyed watching. The Jets have some great receivers for me. With Breezy running the ball, they got a great running back. The defense is all over the place. They're playing in the mold of the Dolphins, the Giants, the young teams that are coming up and trying to smack people, right? I think the Packers win, but I can see the Jets staying in the game as far as points. Like, they can keep up scoring. Like, if they're playing from behind, that kid's and the paper boy's going to throw. Like, if the paper boy's just throwing papers, you know what I mean? As long as his mom allows him to stay on the field, like when it starts to get dark, because it gets dark early now. So from what I'm hearing, Zach Wilson might not be able to play past 6. But if he does, I still go with the Jets plus 7.5. Love that pick. Matt, your thoughts?
It's so tough because when you think back of what the line was with the Patriots and the Packers, it was around a touchdown. It was 6.5, 7.5. Now, when I look at the Patriots and I look at the Jets, Patriots have a defense, Jets don't. So the Packers should be able to exploit that, whereas the Jets, they found a great weapon, and we all knew. I was saying it last week. I told King, I said, this is going to be where Breezy breaks out and has an unbelievable game. I called that. And the Packers, I said it against the Patriots, that the reason the Patriots were going to cover that spread, and I knew that was a lock, is the Packers play this 2 deep safety high, and they allow the run.
You mean the Giants?
No, the Packers allow the run. They play a 2 deep safety, and that's why I said the Patriots would be able to run on the Packers. And that's the same case for the Jets. So I said the Packers are kind of like Bill Belichick versus Bill Belichick, to the point where the Packers don't break that defense. So now it's all about, did the Jets have enough defense to stop the Pack as like the Patriots did? I don't think they do. So I do think the Packers cover. I think they cover.
All right.
I think a lot of people are going to be taking the Jets. I've been
All
thinking about this game. I think it's a tough one.
Yep.
But I think the Packers kind of bully around the Jets, and the Jets come back, and the Packers kind of come back.
All right. Cousin Jimmy?
I agree. I think the Packers take care of business. Kind of a must-win game for them to this point. They could take away their run by going up early, which I can see happening. I just think a lot of people are going to be on the Jets, like you said, and this is kind of like the setup game where Packers are kind of declining, Jets are going up. I can see the Packers just dominating and surprising people.
Yeah, as I've been watching both teams, and Aaron has Lazard and then Randall Cobb. You know what I mean? And the Paperboy has Garrett Wilson, Corey Davis.
Don't sleep on Romeo Doubs.
Yeah, true. But, Randall Cobb still gets too many targets. All right.
Hold on, King. What's the locomotive in that Green Bay offense is that run? That's the 2 run backs.
2 running backs, yeah.
That's the offense in the Green Bay. That's how they get by.
All right, so I'm going to start with Buddy's cousin Jimmy on this one.
Okay.
Now, this is because I'm very I don't trust other Giants fans. I want to make sure you're a Giants fan by what you say. Because I'm somebody who watches it every day, all day long. I know all the offensive linemen. I know what's going on in the practice squad.
Of course.
I've seen all 4 Super Bowls. I've watched them win a Super Bowl in 4 decades. I can say that I've done that. Like, I'm one of the people that have seen that. I am such a Giants fan. Brother Ray can attest. It's like the only team that I ride or die. Here we go. The Giants are at home. Okay. The Ravens are there, favored by 5.5. Now, there's a thing on the show we like to call the douchebag factor that comes into play on some games. There's a definite douchebag factor here with Wink Martindale wanting revenge against this Ravens team that let him go. And if there's one guy who knows how to play against Lamar, we would hope it would be the defensive coordinator that's there practice after practice watching Lamar play. You get back Leonard Williams, Sexy Dexy's playing above his head like a monster. You have Thibs. You're going to have – what do you think of the game?
I'm a huge Giants fan. First off, have been watching since I was 5 years old. Remember the Ravens Super Bowl when we got bodied. But this is going to be a homer pick. I'm going to pick the Giants. Obviously, for the reasons you said, with Wink playing against the whole team, if anybody's going to stop Lamar, it's going to be him. I think we keep it close like the new Giants have been doing every week. My worry is you got to think the Ravens defense is going to start playing better. I mean, they have these two elite corners. They're giving up so many passing yards. I don't know how. Maybe the new defense coordinator, Mike Macdonald, actually a Michigan guy coming in, wasn't ready for the NFL. I don't really know. But they have been really suspect on defense. I would think they start figuring that out. But I think the Giants stay hot. We take them down.
Here's the thing with the Ravens. If you put great cornerbacks in horrible positions, you're going to get maybe good play. If you take good cornerbacks and put them in great positions, obviously great play. So the Ravens don't know what they're doing in the secondary. It's very thin. And in the middle of the defense for the first time in a long time with the Ravens, it's a little bit thin. It's not as stout as it was.
Right.
I like the Giants' offensive line for two reasons. We're going to be able to do what you would expect Baltimore to do. The RPO between Barkley and Daniel Jones, if they decide to go zone on us, will slowly just we've proven that we can do that. If they stay man, Daniel can run. He'll run 6-7 yards, get down. We'll be golden with that the whole way down. Plus, we added maybe the best lineman on the team back on defense, Leonard Williams, and we added back the guy that I've been saying since the draft, who will be the best wide receiver on the Giants this year. Not Kadarius Toney, not Kenny Golladay, not Slayton, not Richard James, not Kenny Sills. It's Mr. Kentucky, Wan'Dale Robinson. This kid is going to be so much better than anybody thinks. I drafted him early in the Keeper League. I've stuck to him. I know what I'm going to see when I see it, and I can't wait for it. I love the Giants to win this game outright. I like the over 45.5, to be honest, because I think the Giants actually beat up on the Ravens at home. Ray, am I crazy?
No, I mean, when playing on what Jimmy said, I think the real issue for Baltimore this year has been their safety play. Kyle Hamilton, the rookie, they put him in there from day one, and he has gotten burned with the deep ball continually. I mean, you look at that game. He completely got scorched over the top at the end of the game, and it's just unallowable. At some point, I mean, he is a player. He is going to respond. And when he responds, that defense will be back because they are strong at corner, two elite corners. I just like the Giants running the ball on them today. I think Barkley's going to have a big day. I think they're going to stick with that. The Giants have been really good covering the spread at home. And they beat the Packers last week in London. And now you start them off as 5.5-point underdogs. That does scare me. Don't get me wrong, but I have to go with the Giants in this one, getting the 5.5. But I'm going to go with the under on this.
So, Maddie, let me say something. If it's close at halftime, right? Daboll has by far been the best halftime adjustment person in the league, I would think, right? Because we're outscoring teams. It's somewhere in the 50, 55 something or whatever to 12. I don't know what it is. We're outscoring them big time. What do you think?
This is what I think. I don't think it's going to be close at half. And I think Baltimore is going to do what they've been doing. And that's on everybody. They've been jumping out to early leagues on everyone. Now it's going to be on the Giants if they can bounce back and answer the bell. I don't think Danny Dimes can exploit the safety play of the Ravens. I've been looking at this game all week, and I've been thinking about it, but that's the way I got to go. I got to go with Baltimore finds a way to cover this spread because of the lack of offense that the Giants are going to display and the MVP type of play level that Lamar Jackson has been putting out. But then kind of, like you said, Giants like to make second half adjustments. They're the best in the business. I've been red hot calling Baltimore all year long. I see them. It's great because I got this computer stuff that I follow of the teams that I'm good on. I see opposed to the teams that I'm not. I know Baltimore, but they suck
I got
in the
this
second
computer
half.
stuff. That's his terminology. We're supposed to believe that he's got this big research rate. He's got this computer stuff.
Hey, I can show you all the data of all the picks.
Yeah, I don't care.
I can show you all the data of all the picks I made.
All right.
And I'm seeing Baltimore agree. And I'll tell you right now, I feel like the Giants are going to fall behind. They're not going to be able to catch up.
Okay, you give me a very warm feeling in my stomach when you say that, because I love when you're wrong and it ends up going my way, which, has to do with, if you remember our fantasy football this game this week in the Legit League, Matt, you made a heroic effort. You scored, I think, like 130 points, which is really I thought you would have been the highest scorer in the league. But what happened was you played the champ who scored like $150, $160 and still beat you. Sorry. Listen,
we're averaging like 60 points a week.
The Giants win this game. The Giants are on that roll. You get, as a Giants fan too, you can kind of feel it. Now, can an upset game be coming? Yes. But that will be against the Eagles or maybe the Cowboys or even the Commies. You never know. Like, those are the teams that we're going to get upset to. All right. Let's move to Maddie. Vikings go to Brother Ray's favorite team, the Miami Dolphins, home, and the Vikings are favored by 3 with an over-under of 45. Who and why do you like it? Matt? You staring at me? Matt?
I love this game. This is my lock of the week. Miami is going to roll.
Wow.
You got Skylar Thompson, who's got to play with the ones for a week now. The defense doesn't know what's going to be thrown at him. He's got a great offense. Minnesota has shown us inconsistency on the offensive and the defensive side all year long. They're going against a top 10 defense. Expect Miami to win outright big.
You guys hear that?
Yeah.
Ray, my thoughts to you are, you're a Dolphins fan. Do you really think they're going to roll?
Unfortunately, I like Minnesota today. No Howard. Howard is not going to play. And with Jefferson, just the thought of Jefferson on Noah is really scaring the crap out of me. I like the run game from Minnesota. Miami their defense has not been able to stop the run. Skylar Thompson, I like him, but this is a big lift to ask from him. I unfortunately, I can't go with my heart on this. I have to go with my head. I got to take Minnesota minus the 3, and I'm going to go with the under. Skylar's got to prove it to us first.
All right. Cousin Jimmy, my issue would be is I believe Thielen might have a good shot at this game of getting some sneaky points, just based on the fact of how they match up. The run game is really good. You got to worry about Jefferson. So then here's where Thielen can steal those targets on the inside. What do you think of the game, though?
I don't know. This is brutal. I think Skylar Thompson is trash, personally. I don't think he's getting the job done today. Dolphins have a better roster overall. They have more weapons on offense, even though with Jefferson, Thielen, Cook, I know Vikings have some weapons too, obviously, but I really don't know, guys. I guess I lean Vikings and another under. It's a week of unders for me.
All right. Now, my question would be, Ray, do you think that quarterback could play within the system enough to get the receivers the ball and let them just do stuff? Can they do quick slants to Hill and Waddle and just let them be? Because that's all they need to do. Run the ball. And that kid just needs to get out of his hands. Slants, quick screens. Like, he doesn't have to go downfield. So can he play within that system as a Dolphins fan?
The knock on him coming out, and he had a really good preseason. He was the most efficient quarterback in the league, I think, in the preseason. But again, that's preseason. You're playing against 3s and 4s. He doesn't have a strong arm, and that was the knock on him coming out of the draft. Does not have a powerful arm, but he's like an intangible guy. He's a go-getter. He's a guy that would lead them, Kansas State, back down by 21 and win a game. So he does have that moxie. But, you know,
does he remind you at all of the Jets quarterback that they drafted who couldn't throw the ball more than 20 yards, but he had like 80% completion?
Chad Pennington?
Chad Pennington. Is he of the Chad Pennington ilk?
He's
That's
not as
disrespectful
accurate.
to Chad
as
Pennington.
Chad Pennington had a noodle arm, but at least he was accurate. Again, there's a lot we don't know about Skyler. And you know what? This will be a test of McDaniel today. If McDaniel can find an answer and win this game without his number 1 and number 2 quarterback, by the way, who both cleared protocol on the sidelines and are not playing, that's another subject matter. But then he'll prove himself.
No, Teddy will play. He's backing Skyler up. He's an emergency QB.
Right, but he's not starting. Again, they both have cleared protocol.
No, he's not starting, but that shows you what they think of
They're
Skyler.
terrified. There's a lot more going on with the other stuff. So
I think this comes down to who turns it over less. I think it's going to be one of those games.
But see, that's the thing. So, like, I know what I'm going to get from the Vikings. I do. I know what I'm going to get running back, receiver, quarterback. However, if I can get a Chad Pennington-style quarterback that, like I said, can play within the system and just get the ball to those two guys, those two freaks of nature, that team's then going to be in the game. So I'm still going to take the Vikings, but I'm going to go over because I think that the Dolphins might be able to score some points is what my thought process would be. All right. Last 1 o'clock game. Brother Ray, again, 49ers -4 at Atlanta. The over-under is 45.5. Let me just preface this by saying the Falcons have not done me wrong. It just seems like when it comes to the spread, they're always there. They're always in games they shouldn't be. But I don't know. The 49ers are only favored by 4 on this one. What do you think?
Yeah, I have 4.5, but I'm still going with the Niners here. They're starting to make believers out of me. That defense is really playing on all cylinders. They got a lot of players back. They're healthy, and they're playing dominant right now. And Jimmy G had a really good week last week. He's starting to settle in. Their weapons are healthy. Their wideouts are healthy. They get Davis Price back on the field to go along with Wilson. What's not to like? I mean, I love Atlanta. We've talked about Atlanta all year. They've done a great job of covering. But if it's less than a touchdown, how can you not take the 49ers here? But I'm going to go with the over.
All right. Ray's taking the 49ers. Matty?
I like Atlanta in this situation. I've seen the spread at 5.5. I've seen it at 4.5. I like it at both. I think Atlanta stays with them. There's a lot of things about San Francisco season that I love, and then there's a lot that I don't. You got the loss to the Chicago Bears. I don't care who's at the helm. I don't care if it's a monsoon. You lost. And you got a loss to the Denver Broncos. We all know what Denver Broncos smells like. So you are what your record says you are. I love San Fran. You know how much I love San Fran. But I'm not going to sit here and say that they can't be in a dogfight with Atlanta. The spread says it's going to be a close game. That's what I'm going to say it's going to be. I think Atlanta covers the spread. I think they win the game. I think they probably win by a field goal or 4. I think that hook's going to come in there and they'll cover.
Jimmy, who do you got?
I agree. I think Falcons might jump out. Surprisingly, the Niners do have some injuries today. 2 corners are out. Bosa's out. I agree. I think the Falcons have a classic meltdown in the 4th, probably lose by like a field goal. And the over.
All right. Yeah. Ray, I hate to be the one that we're jumping on top of you, but I got to go with the Falcons. It's over 3. I can see the Falcons losing by a field goal as time, or as people around here say, field gold, as time expires and winning by 3. So I like the Falcons, and I'm going to go with the under. Now, before we get to the 4 o'clock games, did you know that it was orangutan and not orangutan? Like, there's no G on the end of that word. But I had to look it up. At my age, And I'm like, oh my God, it's not orangutan. There's no such thing. There's no such thing. It's just a word. It's just how we say it. It ends with an N. It's an orangutan. That blew my mind. Want to hear the second thing that blew my mind, Brother Ray? Well, I was listening to the Kelsey brothers. They have a podcast, Travis and his brother, the unfortunate one that played for the Eagles. So those two guys are talking, and they were talking about like cornerbacks and how they talk the most. And then one of them says, that's the toughest position by far to play in the NFL. And Travis goes, that's not the toughest position to play in the NFL. And the one that was the former lineman for the Eagles said, are you kidding me? He goes, they're not even letting us white guys even try out for it anymore. And he goes, Steve Horn was the last starting white cornerback in 2002. The last time another white cornerback played cornerback in the NFL was last year, 2021. Some dude from the Titans converted over to cornerback. And it made like a 19-year gap. So it's like, yeah, they just don't even go out for it anymore. They're not athletic enough. And it was one of those comments that's gotten a lot of like that like viral buzz. And I don't think he's saying anything wrong. He's speaking the goddamn truth. Like, that's such a hard dude. You're gonna cover guys running 4.3 speed. You got to stay within a foot of them. Like, what kind of speed and reflexes do you need? Like, Ray, imagine you or me right now having the cover. Pick the slowest NFL receiver. Forget about it. That first juke he made, it, our hips wouldn't turn. They'd crack. We'd fall. Out comes the stretcher and Gatorade. It'd be a complete joke travesty. Speaking of travesties, Matty, 4:00 games. Matt Rule and the Carolina Panthers, who, Mr. Rule, I never wish for anyone to lose their job. I never wish for anybody their family to lose their job. However, you rejected the New York Football Giants. Let me make sure you know that. You rejected us. Yep. So, like the Baker Mayfield curse, who talk crap about us. Also, you are now nowhere. Remember what you say about the New York Football Giants, and most of all, just shut your mouth. Matty, what do you think about the Panthers playing the Rams? Rams are favored by 10. Matty, over on this 41.5, here's what terrifies me about a 10-point spread. Does the Panthers team come out and prove they can play without their coach and rally?
Well, that's what you really got to look for is this team going to all of a sudden have some pizzazz because their coach is fired? That's really what happens when a coach gets fired. You start seeing a team have a little bit of fight. I expect that. And who does the Rams get? Why do the Rams give anybody 10 points? Right now, Baker Mayfield, I don't think the Panthers have any quarterbacks, but they got Sam Darnold, right? So Sam Darnold's probably playing, and I think that gives them a little bit more stability. No? No, brother, right?
PJ Walker's.
Oh, really?
All right. Well,
interesting.
Who do you like?
Rams. Give me the Rams.
Brother Ray.
I don't know why. They probably don't. No, I'll stick with the Panthers. I don't see how the Rams deserve. The Rams have very, very bad offensive line right now. And I think the Panthers can take advantage of that. So let me stick with what I was going to say. I'll go with the Panthers in the end.
All right. Ray.
I like Steve Wilks, guys. I think Steve Wilks taking over that team as head coach. I think at the very least that defense is going to be ferocious. They're going to want to play for him. He is, I think, head coach material, Steve Wilks. And I think eventually he is going to get a shot at a head coaching position, whether that be with Carolina this year or another team. PJ Walker, he can run with the ball. I mean, he adds another dimension to that offense that they really haven't really had. And I think Wilks is the kind of guy that can get them through the remainder of the season with his coaching style. I'm going to take the 10 today with Carolina, and I'm going to go with the under. I think it's going to be a defensive battle. I mean, the Rams, when Tyler Higbee is getting 10, 11 targets a game, I mean, you have a problem. I mean, you have a problem. Other than Cooper Kupp, they have nothing else on that team right now with the Cam Akers debacle. Henderson's a good fantasy start today in DFS because he's going to get the rock and often.
Agreed.
Jimmy, before we get to you really quick in your pick, guys, Godwin versus Pitt or Sutton versus the Chargers full PPR. I'm already starting Lenny. He calls him by nicknames. And Mike Evans. So Godwin versus Pitton or Sutton. I don't understand the question, I guess.
I go Sutton versus the Chargers just because you're starting Mike Evans and Lenny. I do like Godwin, though, today against Pittsburgh, but that's so brutal having Lenny, Mike Evans, and Godwin. That is asking for a lot, especially if it's not DFS. I mean, if you're DFS stacking, maybe that'll work, but not in a ESPN fantasy league.
Ray, moving forward, should Edward have to put stuff in more like algebra or geometry type formations, like put quotes around certain parts so I know what to add first or say first before I can figure out the code?
I mean, I agree. The stack there, I think, because if they're up on Pittsburgh, I think they take Godwin out. Godwin is finally healthy, but if they get up big, they're going to take Godwin out and they're going to rest them. So I agree. I think Sutton, even though that team is just an absolute train wreck.
Edward, please hit the like, subscribe, and follow button. Leave us a comment. That's what helps get us into the whole algorithm of popping up on the right side of your screen. Cousin Jimmy, what do you like in this game?
What game were we talking about?
The Panthers and the Rams.
I'm gonna go. It is like a fancy pick to pick teams when they fire their coach, right? They always come out, show up. Yep. I think the Panthers might show up in the first half, but I think the Rams take over late. I think the Rams actually cover and the over will hit. Even though Allen Robinson's a debacle, I'm benching him finally. I should have been benching him since week 2. So watch, he goes off today. Rams.
All right, and I have to go with Brother Ray and Matt on this one because the Panthers have that bit of a douchebag factor on their side, and I like exactly what Matt said. What have the Rams done to make me think they could be a 10-point favorite? You know what I'm trying to say? Like, 10 points is a lot. That's a lot right there. So I'm going with the Panthers, and I'm going over. All right, Brother Ray, Cardinals going to the Seahawks. Cardinals favored by 2. Over-under is 50.5. Now, Ray, if you would have told me about this game at the beginning of the season, I would have been excited to watch it. If you told me about it today, I would not want to watch it. What do you think of this game?
We're in the upside down world because we're in a world right now where Geno Smith is actually a top 5 fantasy quarterback.
I hate him.
We are in the upside down world officially. Okay. And I know this where everyone's still in Geno denial, but guys, it is what it is. This should be a shootout. If you're looking at this, this should be an absolute shootout. Seattle getting 2.5 at home. And again, Arizona has not shown me anything yet. I think, next week with Hopkins back, I think Kyler will have his full complement of weapons. But that defense, has given up a lot of points. I got to go with Seattle here, getting 2.5 at home.
I got 2.
I'm actually going to go over the 50.5. I think it's going to be an absolute shootout.
All right. Now, Matt, before I go to you, Geno Smith could have simply said, I don't want to start this game and destroy Eli's legacy.
I knew it was coming.
So find somebody else because I don't want that to be attached to my name for the rest of my life as the guy who broke up his Iron Man streak. The one streak that's like his sure ticket Hall of Fame thing that he did. The fact that he was always there every week on the center, right? And then you have Geno Smith come in and break that. I can't like Geno Smith. I don't like Geno Smith.
That's on McAdoo, though, man. That's on McAdoo.
It was on
like what do you do?
Shermer, wasn't it?
There? No,
was it on Shermer or McAdoo?
I think that was McAdoo.
All right. I confused both idiots.
Oh, yeah, they're terrible.
That whole time is a disaster. So is the Joe Judge jumping on loose balls in the mud. All right. Cousin Jimmy, who do you like? Cardinals -2 or the Seahawks?
So I've been a big Kyler guy since college, but God, you're right about the Cardinals defense, Brother Ray. I think it's a Kenneth Walker coming out party, even though he kind of did last week. Kenneth Walker's the real deal. I've jumped on him in every fantasy draft. I think the Seahawks get it done, and I think the over hits.
Matty?
I agree with Jimmy. I'm in disagreement with you, King. I think that this is a great game to watch. I think the over-run is 50.5. I think it easily, that's the bet. Best bet is the over. That's a sure bet. And I think it's an exciting game. There's a lot of players to be excited about in this game. And I think Seattle defends their home turf, and I think they get it done. Seattle in the over.
Okay. I am going to go with Seattle in the under. I think that there's going to be a lot of talk about nothing. Like, I think the offenses are going to sputter each other. It's going to be an ugly game, and you'll get the Seahawks winning by like 1 or 2. I'm looking at like a 21, literally a 21, maybe 20 game. That's just my thoughts. Moving on to the next game, Brother Ray. The Bills are favored by 2.5 going to KC in the third 4 o'clock game. 54.5 over under. Who do you like?
Yeah, this is an interesting game because we know Buffalo was doing things in the offseason to basically for this game and for the eventual matchup against them in the playoffs. And Buffalo defensively, number 1 team in the NFL against the tight end. And last week, take away that incredible performance by Kelsey with 4 touchdowns, and they lose that game. I like Buffalo giving the 2.5 with this. I know Kansas City is at home, and Mahomes had a great week last week, but I don't know. I love Buffalo. I think they're the more solid team right now. I think they have their weapons are clicking on all cylinders. They get McKenzie back to go with Shakir. I like Buffalo in this game a lot, only given 2.5. Give me them, but give me the under in this.
All right, you like Buffalo and the under. Matt.
What's the over under?
54.5.
At 54.
I like KC and the over.
Wow. All right. Cousin Jimmy.
I also like KC in the over with Hyde and White out for Buffalo. I think it hurts them today in Arrowhead. It's going to be the game of the week. It's going to be a battle. I just have a feeling Josh Allen's going to make a mistake late. We've seen it against KC before, and I could just see it happening again.
All right. I go with Brother Ray on this. Look, the Chiefs are going to be on the defensive. The Bills are coming in swinging. The Bills are coming in like Mike Tyson, angry that they had to wait for Spinks. They can't wait to get on the field with this team and finally show everything they did in the offseason paid off. They can beat this team. They're going to come out and they have a goal that the Chiefs don't have. The Chiefs are just trying to keep being the Chiefs and have everything come through Kansas City. The Bills have the douchebag factor to prove. They have to prove that it has to come through Buffalo and that they're the big boys on the block. It's a Mike Tyson moment. I think the Buffalo Bills come in and knock out the Chiefs. They come out and smash around the Chiefs and show the league why they're the best team. And I think that you get.
And you know what I think, King?
I think in the second half.
I think that KC's been.
I'm not. Have I finished, Matthew? The Chiefs will come back towards the end, but in the end, the Bills will still pull it off by 2.5 and take the over. Thank you. Go ahead.
I think that the Chiefs have been around the block for a lot longer than the Bills have. And I think when you start talking about going and knock out the champ inside their house, it's a tough task.
That's what you're
doing.
And
in the NFL, would it really set up a future matchup, maybe possibly down the line in the playoff, knowing that the Bills went in there and knocked KC down? No, I think it's very likely that they defend their home like we know they're gonna, and KC does what KC. Listen, KC's hot. KC's playing hot right now, and what we've seen from Sean McDermott in this situation is faltering.
So, guys,
that's what I expect him to do.
On all the games so far up to the 8 o'clock tonight, the only games that we've gotten 4 people on board with are the Browns, the Seahawks. That's it. Now, the games, where it's been the 3 of us, with Cousin Jimmy being the outlier, there's...
Not in my book, Cousin Jimmy.
Hold on. Wait, I'm trying to figure out which ones would be. Nope, these 2 there, 2 there. No. No. Yeah, the Panthers. We would add the Panthers to the mix. And that's about it.
I think Cousin Jimmy went with the Rams, right?
Yeah, so the Browns, Seahawks, and we're just going to put the Panthers up there as an optional because 3 out of the 4 like that one, and that would have made it to our picks on every other week. but we do like the Browns and Seahawks. Let us move to the 8 o'clock game. Raymond, the Cowboys playing the Eagles at Philly. Philly's favored by 6.5. The over-under is 42.5. You know, I am the NFC East whisperer. I breathe and sleep the NFC East. I think the Eagles beat up the Cowboys in this game. I think this is a beat-up game. I think everyone's leaning on the Cowboys. Listen, I don't pick the Eagles because I like them. I absolutely hate them. There's not a team I hate more, and we all know this in the whole NFL, than the Philadelphia Eagles. It's like a team that doesn't even deserve a logo. I hate them. I hate the Eagles. I hate them. But I'm telling you, they're going to beat the Cowboys by more than a touchdown. They're so much better than the Cowboys, right? And it's going to take a team like us, but our defense, to beat them. But it will not be the Cowboys. And the Eagles will show out. When they start to beat an NFC East team like this, they blow them out. Take the Eagles and the over. Brother Ray.
Yeah, I think two really good defenses in this game. That's why I really like the under in this game. I think both defenses playing extremely well. I mean, Dallas held the Rams to 10. I know the Rams haven't been impressive, but still. I like Philly in this game as well. I got to say it's under a touchdown, which to me is magic. It's at 6.5 from what I can see. And this is a statement game. Again, this is a big game for these two teams. I mean, the NFC East right now, 3 teams, either undefeated or with 1 loss. So I like Philly in this. I just think they have too much. Look for Devonta to have a big game today on the other side of A.J. Brown. So I'm going to go with Philly minus the 6.5. And I'm going to go with the under. I think the under is a strong play.
All right, before I get to you, Matty, we're starting Higgins today. Usage worries me, playing Lazard and G.J. Moore over him right now. All right, here's what I'm going to say.
I'm not starting Higgins.
Me either.
I would start Lazard out of those 3 immediately. Right, as of right now, start Lazard. Just start him out of the 3. If Higgins was a little bit more healthy, I don't know who I had this conversation. I think it was Big Stu who had this conversation with me last night. I've been fighting for the fact that Higgins may be the best on the whole team. I remember way back, you guys were telling me he was the number 3 behind Chase and then Boyd. But I've stayed on that Higgins train. I'm a believer that T. Higgins may be the best receiver on that team. I know that's scary. That's a tough argument with him and Chase. But I'm just telling you, in numbers, in games, Higgins is a beast. Just gets hurt. Matt, who do you like in this game, though, the Cowboys-Eagles?
I hate going against the NFC East whisperer, but that defense for Dallas is elite. You've been talking about it all year, and it's funny because you know how much I love Jalen Hurts. He has issues when he goes up against defenses that can play bump and run,
our exotic
man coverage, stuff the receiver on the outside, make him have to stay inside the pocket more than he wants to when he's contained properly. I just feel like Dallas muckles them up to the point where it's a low scoring game and it's within a touchdown. And I like Dallas to cover. There's a part of me that feels like they can win outright, but I just don't think that they can do that in Philly's home. But
all right,
it's going to be a good game. And Cooper Rush is no joke.
Little Jimmy,
he's pushing Dak.
I'm actually calling him Little Jimmy now. Cousin Jimmy, over you. I think Matt's being paid by the minute on this podcast. We're gonna have to check HR after the show because he's really stretching out his conversations. What do you think there, Cousin Jimmy? Who do you like, Cowboys or Eagles?
First off, I'm used to being called Little Jimmy. I'm the 4th in my family, so
it came out so naturally. I don't know what it was.
As much as I would like to say, this is the first time Hurts is actually going to see some pressure with Micah Parsons and Lawrence. I think the Cowboys roll and the over.
All right.
Oh, sorry. I'm sorry. The Eagles roll and the over. As much as
you were right the first time.
Nah.
Go with your heart. Go with your heart.
I hate them both.
Go with your heart.
I want a bloodbath, if anything.
I want a tie. I want to get a tie. Broncos.
You meant what you said, Jimmy.
Ray, Monday night, Broncos Chargers. This game seems like it's on every week. Chargers are favored by 4.5. Over under is 45.5. Tell me why I should believe the Broncos are just capable of running an offense. Like they look so inept right now that Russell Wilson looks like he's just trying to figure out what excuse he's going to use next after this game. Like my shoulder, my back, my head, the field, the height, a mile high, I can't breathe. Ray, what's going on? What do you think about the game?
Spread really, really scares the crap out of me because I think the Chargers should be 10-point favorite over Denver. That's what scares the crap out of me. But instead of overthinking this, I'm going to take the Chargers at home, only given 4.5 to a team that is just, I mean, right now it's a clown show with Hackett. I mean, he can't manage a game. And Russell, $250 million. Like, I mean, I have to go with the Chargers here, only given 4.5.
I'm going to back you up, Ray. I'm in on that one. Matt. Yeah, I mean,
there's something about this line. I think the Broncos cover. Perhaps they could win outright. You know, Chargers seem like they're going to be that team that the public really jumps on in a lot of times, and it looks like the Broncos look like that perfect team to bet against. It's not going to be something about this line tells me.
I think you're overthinking. I think someone's overthinking, brother Ray, right there. I don't know. I mean, yeah, I just think you're overthinking it. What do you mean? The Broncos stink. Like they stink. Like for you to say they stink compared to the Chargers, right?
No.
All right. Cousin Jimmy.
I agree. I think you're overthinking. Chargers. Hackett is terrible. I have no idea what happened to Russell. I guess he's terrible now. I don't know. Chargers. And what's the over-under for 45?
5.5.
I'm going to go over.
So
Hackett is horrible. I do agree with you, Jimmy, but you know who else is horrible? The coach for the Chargers.
That is true. Last week,
it's the battle of shit versus poo.
Yeah, when they went
shit versus poo
late in the game on 4th down in their own field. I don't know what that was last week.
Listen, we got 3 teams that we agree upon for the most part. 2, the Browns and the Seahawks. The other is the Carolina Panthers. If you're going to go put a 3-team parlay or just put money on each game, go with the Browns, Seahawks, and Panthers. If I can get my 2 cents really quick before I kick it to Brother Ray for fantasy football, I'm going to say the Giants. We all took the Giants, and we didn't all take it, but I like the Giants for, in my opinion, is a big lock today. And for some reason, I'm really big on a Steelers upset. Don't tell me why or ask me why. I think the Steelers upset the Bucks in the most bizarre game today. That's just been that game for some reason. Brother Ray, in fantasy football, who should we look for on the waiver wire really quick within the next 25?
Yeah, just quickly. I really like Kirk Cousins today, and you guys are going to think I'm crazy going against my team, but I think Jefferson's going to have a field day. I also, in that same game, I love Irv Smith as the tight end for the Vikings. I think he's going to have a sneaky day. He's going to get a touchdown today, unfortunately. At the running back position, Ramondre Stevenson going to get the full load today, folks. He's getting the full load today. No Harris. You got to love him today because that's what they're going to try and do with Zappy as their quarterback. And Henderson, we talked about him before. He's going to get the bulk of the carries today. I will say, if you're in fantasy leagues right now, if you can stash Kyron Williams, please do so. The Rams drafted this kid in the 5th round. They thought he could be their next Austin Eckler. He's got that kind of skill set, had a bad combine. That's why he fell. You can stash him on IR right now. But Henderson hasn't done anything yet with the opportunities. This kid's going to come in and I think get it because they're going to trade Cam Akers for sure. Wide receiver position, Myers has been a very, very sleepy, underrated start on DFS. He is going to play today. He's their number 1 receiver now. We all know Devontae Parker. He's not a number 1 receiver. I also like Rondale Moore today. I think every week you've seen Rondale Moore get better and better. He's getting the targets. I think this offense, when Hop comes back, Moore's going to drop to the slot. And he's going to be very, very valuable in fantasy. If he's available anywhere, jump on him, but I like him today. I also like Josh Palmer. I think Palmer's going to have a sneaky game. He's been injured the last couple of weeks. He's had the targets, not the numbers. I think that's going to change this week. And I'd say with defense, unfortunately, I like the Vikings defense today. Again, until Skyler proves something to me, even though they're home, I hate to be going against my team. But in DFS, with the price point, I like them.
All right.
Fantasy
Question for you. You get to start 3 out of these 4 wide receivers. Jacoby Myers, Wan'Dale Robinson, Corey Davis, Adam Thielen.
Who's this going to?
Right.
You got to put Thielen in. I would put Thielen in. Wan'Dale, we haven't seen anything yet. I would put Thielen in only because
I go Lazard, Myers, Waddle. I still go wide receiver 4 between Robinson and Thielen. Now, I don't want to start Thielen, I guess, in today's game and have so much on the Vikings because I think there's two better wide receiving threats today for them and the running game. And then on top of that, no one plays like Wan'Dale does. If he plays, he will make a difference. He's not Richie James. You know what I mean? Like, this kid's going to be phenomenal if he gets the ball. So I'm going to take the chance. I'm riding the chance on him. They're playing him for a reason. They need receivers.
Just knowing the Giants, though, man. Oh God, they're so hard to predict. I don't know if he's in the scheme. It's a big.
Well, it is. Do you believe in the guy? Yes, I do. Have I followed him tremendously? Yes, I have. He lines up absolutely everywhere. And the thing is, like Brother Ray said in the past, he's tiny, but he's one of the best deep ball guys. So just add all that up and tell me how it makes sense. So that's my out of the blue start for everybody. Wan'Dale Robinson playing the Giants. I think this is the day. I bet he gets 60 yards and a touchdown. That's my big claim for Wan'Dale. Matt, you got anything you want to add before we wrap up?
Yeah, I like who did I like to be the first scorer of the game in one game? It was
why would you ask me?
I totally lost my train of thought. I'm gone. I'm lost.
All right. First person to score in what game? What game are you talking
I'd
about?
have to remember the game. I honestly I'm ready to dip into it, but
all right.
It was a long
Chiefs
time
and
ago.
Bills. It's definitely Dawson Knox because Dawson Knox always gets the first touchdown in big games. Fun fact. I have 2 running backs I want to throw out there today. Benjamin getting the full load. I think he has a good game. Also, Kenneth Walker, already shouted him out. I love your picks, Brother Ray. DFS, I agree across the board, literally.
Eno Benjamin.
Yeah, good. Another good name. Yeah, he's getting the ball and he can catch the ball in the backfield too. Connor, he's basically made out of porcelain.
Yeah. Yep. All right. So again, get your picks in, get your bets in. Browns and Seahawks are unanimous with us. Also, we would tell you to lean towards the Panthers. And I'm going to tell you flat out, go put your money on the New York Football Giants and watch them march to 5-1 over a Ravens team that's not as good as everyone thinks they are. So, for Buddy's cousin Jimmy, Master Thomas, M1, Mr. Never Left, Brother Ray, it's me, Mike Leopard King, Mike L. This was Legit Fantasy Football, brought to you by LegitPodcast.com. We will see you again on Thursday night. Brother Ray has to apologize at least for 1 or 2 weeks of being lowest scoring team in the fantasy league for our show. So, brother, we got to come up with a serious penalty for you for scoring the lowest 2 weeks in a row. I'll think about it, and it's going to be brutal. All right, guys, get your bets in, get your games in. We will see you again